Hola mi gente, welcome back to Kat and Too Many Books. I'm Kat. I'm having a hard time with this intro today. I've had to do it a bunch of times. But today we're going to be talking about what my August reading possibilities looks like. August is kind of a tough time because I will be going back to school, like to work, right? I'll be teaching again. And so like half of the month is going to be sort of not easy to read too much because I will be right in the midst of all my planning. So I'm trying to get as much reading done in the first 2 weeks so that I have a little more leeway in the last 2 weeks. But I have 9 books that I am thinking I want to read this month. I don't know that I'll get to all 9. I have to get to at least 3 of them for sure. And then the rest are, let me hope I can get to them. So let's talk about those books that I have to get through right away. So those books are actually my books for that are books that are in my my book club books. Well, I have 2 that are book club books, and then one that I'm doing for a read along, and then one that is late to the library already, and I need to get it back, so I have to get it read so that I can get it back to the library. So let's talk about those books first. The first book I'm going to have to read is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. It is part of my in-person book club that I have with Paper Cut Books, which is one of my local independent bookstores. We were supposed to read this by the end of this month, but a lot of people couldn't make it this last weekend, so we pushed it to this weekend coming up, August 3rd. So I have to read this by August 3rd. So I have like 4 days from where I am right now to read this book. So the book is a thriller. It's like a mystery thriller, I believe. And so it's like, I think about a girl who goes missing in a camp in the 1970s. And then, missing. Barbara isn't just any 13-year-old. She's the daughter of the family that owns the summer camp and employs most of the region's residents. And this isn't the first time a Van Laird child has disappeared. Barbara's older brother similarly vanished 14 years ago, never to be found. As the panic search begins, a thrilling drama unfolds. Chasing down the layered mysteries of the Van Laird family and the blue-collar community living and working in its shadow, Moore's multi-threaded story invites readers into a rich and gripping dynasty of secrets. So it's set in the 70s, so love that. Okay. Didn't realize that. And so, so the Barbara, who's the girl that goes missing, the 13-year-old girl that goes missing, her older brother went missing 14 years previous to her going missing in the same place, I think, at the camp. So what is happening? What's going on? There's a lot going on here. I know quite a few people have really enjoyed this story and talked about it. It's kind of messed up. So I'm looking forward to reading it. It's pretty big, but I think it's going to be a pretty fast read. I read the first chapter just to do like a read a chapter, and I really liked it. The pacing was pretty quick, and I'm really interested. I'm kind of like, what the heck is going on? So I think I'm going to be able to get through it. I have to get it done by Sunday. Cross your fingers. Hope I do. I will. I have to. So yeah, that is going to be the first big book that I'm going to read this month. Next, I'm going to try to finish or read Meet Me at the Crossroads by Megan Giddings. Also did read a chapter for this and loved how it was written, and really am intrigued by it. So I'm going to read the synopsis really quickly. It says, on an ordinary summer morning, the world is changed by the appearance of 7 mysterious doors that seemingly lead to another world. People are, of course, mesmerized and intrigued. A new dimension filled with beauty and resources entices them to step into an adventure. But perhaps inevitably, people soon learn that what looks like paradise may very well be filled with danger. Ayana and Olivia, 2 Black Midwestern teens and twin sisters, have different ideas of what may lie in the world beyond. But will their personal bond endure such wanton exploration? And when one of them goes missing, will the other find solace on her own? And will she uncover the circumstances of what truly happened to her once constant companion and best friend? Sounds amazing. I think, if I remember correctly, Megan Giddings wrote Lake House? Is that right? Did she write Lake House? Lakewood, which I know a lot of people said was a really kind of like, it was a horror, I think it was a horror novel, and it was really just frightening and really messed up. So looking forward to this kind of sci-fi horror thing that she's writing here. It sounds really, really intriguing and good. So that's going to be definitely read at the beginning of the month. So the next book is one that I have to read again. this month because it is going to be a part of my book club. So the same book club, but I'm going to read the book that would have been originally for August. Although I don't know if we're going to push it now because we had to push to August 1st. So I don't know if we're pushing this book later, but I'm going to assume we're going to just have 2 meetings in August. And so the book that we picked is The Bombshell by Darrow Farr. I think it's the name. And so this is, okay, I'm going to read it. It says Corsica, 1993. Awesome. Set in the 90s. Love the 90s. As a sun-drenched Mediterranean summer heads into full swing, beautiful and brash 17-year-old Severny Umard is counting down the days until graduation, dreaming of stardom while smoking cigarettes and seducing boys in her class to pass the time. The pampered French-American daughter of a politician, Severny knows she's destined for bigger things. That is, until one night, Severny is snatched off her bike by a militant trio fighting for Corsican independence and held for a large ransom. When the men fumble negotiating her release, the 4 become unlikely housemates deep in the island's remote interior. Eager to gain the upper hand, Severny sets out to charm her captors, and soon the handsome intellectual leader, Bruno, the gentle university student, Tito, and even the gruff, unflappable Pietro grow to enjoy the company of their headstrong hostage. As Severny is exposed to the group's politics, they ignite something unexpected within her, and their ideas begin to take root. With her flair for the spotlight and newfound beliefs, Severny becomes the face of a radical movement for a global TV audience. What follows is a summer of passion and terror careening toward an inevitable, explosive conclusion as Severny steps into the biggest role of her life. So this sounds interesting. Not something I would normally pick up, which is what I like about book clubs. You read something that's going to expand your horizons, or be something that you wouldn't necessarily read. But it sounds really, really interesting. I love that it's set in the 90s. And I'm like really intrigued into like what happens with Severny and how maybe she changes. That seems to be like a thing that's going to happen. So that's for my book club. And then the last one that I have to read this month that I will be reading, it is, of course, A Reaper at the Gates by Sarah Trier. Like I've mentioned before, I am reading along with Krista and Sarah, who are doing a read-along of An Ember in the Ashes series. And so we're at the 3rd book. So we're almost there. Oh my gosh. I will not be reading the synopsis of books because I don't want to go in knowing anything. I like going in without knowing exactly what's going to happen in the next book. But I have loved the first 2 books so much. I hear from everybody. This is, I think, such an underrated series. I hear from everybody how good this is. And I think it just stays really good. So I'm kind of hoping this doesn't have a sophomore, like second book slump, because the second book was amazing, but it's a quartet. So like sometimes the 3rd book has the problems and things like that. So I'm hoping this stays just as good. The Reaper is, who's the Reaper? I guess the Reaper would be Elias. So maybe this is a little bit more Elias focused, which not sure how that could be, but anyways, super looking forward to this one. We'll definitely read it, probably not to the end of the month, because I would like to read it closer to when we have our like discussion about it, and that won't be till the 31st. So I'll read it at the end of the month, but I'll definitely be reading this one. All right, so now having had those 4 that I am definitely going to read because I have to read them for book clubs and discussions and so on and so forth, I have 5 books that I really kind of want to get to this month if I can. So these are the ones that, these are all library. Yep, these are all library books. So I'm getting into my library holds and my library haul. So I want to kind of get through most of these if I can. So let's talk about the ones that I'm going to be looking at. First, I have Of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. This is a retelling of Dracula, I believe, set in space. So let me kind of read the summary of this. Demeter just wants to do her job, shuttling humans between Earth and Alpha Centauri. Unfortunately, her passengers keep dying, and not from equipment failures, as her AI medical system steward would ever believe. These are paranormal murders, and they began with one nasty ancient vampire decided to board Demeter and kill all her humans. To keep from getting decommissioned, Demeter must join forces with her own team of monsters: a werewolf, an engineer built from the dead, a pharaoh with otherworldly powers, a vampire with a grudge, a fleet of cheerful spider drones. Together, this motley crew will face down the ultimate evil, Dracula. The queer love child of pulp horror and classic sci-fi of Monsters and Mainframes is a dazzling, heartfelt odyssey that probes what it means to be one of society's monsters and explores the many types of friendship that make us human. So I think Demeter's the ship. She's a living ship, I believe. It feels like, right? Yes. Feels like she's a living ship. So I'm super intrigued about this. I am excited. This looks so, and the cover for this is phenomenal. So I love this so much. I'm excited. I love that it's, I just love it. It sounds great. So hoping to get this definitely read. It's like a 7-day book, which means I get it for like 3 weeks, unless someone puts it on hold, and then I won't be able to take it out again. But so that means I do have most of the month to finish reading it. So I definitely hope to get to it because it sounds amazing. Next, I have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, Taylor Jenkins Reid wrote one of my most favorite books ever, which is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That might be my favorite book ever. And I love her writing, and I've got all her other books in my bookshelves, but I really found this one to be really interesting. I know that it is about astronauts. It's set in the 80s. I am an 80s child. And it is about the main character, whose name is, Joan. So she's a professor of physics and astronomy, and then she's sees an advertisement seeking women to join NASA's space shuttle program. So she applies and is picked and is going into space. So selected from a pool of thousands of applicants in the summer of 1980, Joan begins training at Houston's Johnson Space Center alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates: Top Gun pilot Hank Redmond and scientist John Griffin. Easygoing even when the stakes are high, mission specialist Lydia Danes, who has worked too hard to play nice, warm-hearted Donna Fitzgerald navigating her own secrets, and Vanessa Ford, the magnetic and mysterious aeronautical engineer who can fix any engine and fly any plane. As they become unlikely friends and prepare for their first flights, Joan finds a love she never imagined. In this new light, Joan begins to question everything she thinks she knows about her place in the observable universe. Then, in December of 1984, on mission STS-LR9, it all changes in an instant. Sounds great. Sounds so good. I'm definitely going to read this one next in my Taylor Jenkins Reid reading. I've not read any of the other ones she's written. I only have Daisy Jones and the Six, I think, in my... Do I have Daisy Jones and the Six? I have Daisy Jones and the Six in my my TBR here. I don't think I have any of the other ones in my TBR, because the other ones seemed fine, but I wasn't like super interested in them. But when I read the synopsis for this one, I was like, oh, this one's like something I would like. So yeah, hopefully I will get to it. The next book I have is Overgrowth by Mira Grant. This is actually another book. I think Atmosphere, Meet Me at the Crossroads, and this book are actually in my 25 most anticipated reads of the year. I think I have them in my list. I'll have to go look, but I think I do. So Overgrowth by Mira Grant. I'm gonna read it. This is a horror novel as well. It's this is just a story. It can't hurt you anymore. Since she was 3 years old, Anastasia Miller has been telling anyone who would listen that she's an alien disguised as a human being, and that the armada that left her on Earth is coming for her. Since she was 3 years old, no one has been willing to listen. Now, with an alien signal from the stars being broadcast around the world, humanity is finally starting to realize that we've already been warned, and it may be too late. The invasion is coming. Stasia's biological family is on the way to bring her home, and very few family reunions are willing to cross the gulf of space for just one misplaced child. What happens when you know what's coming and just refuse to listen? I love it. I thought this sounded so good when I read the synopsis ages ago. I'm so glad I was able to get it from the library because it's pretty new. Just came out not that long ago. So glad I was able to get in it and get my holds. So yeah, definitely looking forward to reading this one. Next one I have is I Can't Even Think Straight by Dean Atta, who is the author who wrote, if you've not read it, The Black Flamingo, which I actually have here. So this is another novel of his, and it is, I think, in like verse, which is why I really thought I wanted to read it. It's like told in verse, which I love books that are told in verse. It's like one of my favorite things. I really like epistolatory novels, and I also really like novels written in verse. So all I know really about this is Kai knows he is to others. I'm sorry, Kai knows who he is to others. The reliable grandson, the best friend, the romantic backup, but he doesn't know who he is to himself. Though Kai desperately wants to come out at school, he keeps himself closeted. His best friend Matt, who is also in the closet, has religious parents who can't know he's gay, and he's worried that Kai coming out will draw the wrong kind of attention. Meanwhile, Vass, Kai's oldest friend, who is non-binary, is encouraging Kai to be open about who he is. Between an intriguing new private school boy and growing feelings for Matt, Kai can't think straight. How can he figure out what he wants if he doesn't know who he is? Sounds lovely. The back has like, I think maybe a little part of the verse. Who am I? I'm a son, a best friend, a grandson, a cousin, and so much more. I'm the angel and devil on opposing shoulders. I'm the beauty in the eye of the beholder. I'm the boy behind the camera. I'm the hand that turns the page. I'm Malachi. I'm Malachi, or Kai, angel or king. Who am I? So, yes, please. I think I'm probably going to read this before I actually get to read Black Flamingo, which will be tragic because I've had that forever, but I'm really wanting and looking forward to reading this. Lastly, I picked this up because so many people talk about it and talk about how this is sort of like a Sherlock sort of retelling. So I picked up The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett from the library to see how I like it. Really love the cover, by the way. Like, fantastic cover. Love it. So I'm going to read the synopsis for it. In Dertana's grandest mansion, an imperial officer lies dead, killed to all appearances when a tree erupted from his body. Even here at the empire's borders, where contagions abound and the blood of the leviathans work strange magical changes, it's a death both terrifying and impossible. Assigned to investigate is Anna Dulabra, a detective whose reputation for brilliance is matched only by her eccentricities. Rumor has it she always wears a blindfold and can solve impossible cases without stepping outside the walls of her home. At her side is her new assistant, Dinios Cole, magically altered in ways that make him the perfect aid to Anna's brilliance. Din is at turns scandalized, perplexed, and infuriated by his new superior. But as the two close in on a mastermind and Anna makes one startling deduction after the next, he realizes that she is, indeed, the Empire's greatest detective and wonders how long he can keep his own secret safe from her piercing intellect. So, sounds very interesting. I love that it's magical, fantasy, Sherlock Holmes inspired. So, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can read it. It's pretty big. All of these are actually quite huge books in terms of this one's almost 400 pages. Most of these are fairly big, so we'll see. But yeah, looking forward to it. Okay, so those were the 9 books I have in my possibilities. I'm hoping to read some of the ones that I just talked about. I'm going to be reading 4 of those for sure because I have to for my stuff. I'm obligated to, but I'm hoping I can pick up some of the other ones as well because they sound wonderful. So that's all for now. Please comment, subscribe. Let me know if you are reading any of these books. If you want to do a buddy read, I'm down for that. That actually really helps me a lot. So let me know if you want to do that. So leave a little comment or just even a little icon. You can do a back to school one, like a ruler or a book or something, because I will be going back to school to work. So you can do that just to let me know you watched and enjoyed. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.